Maglio Ordonez in right field. He's the big slugger, the veteran slugger. Carlos Guillen had an excellent year offensively, hitting .320 at short. Ivan Rodriguez, the veteran catcher, is hitting 6th. And Craig Monroe, 28 home runs, hitting 7th and left. Marcus Timms, originally a Yankee, and he had 26 home runs this year. And Brandon Edge at third base, he had 27 home runs. A lot of power in the last third of that batting order. Calls going on around Yankee Stadium as Mike Messina is ready to go with Curtis Granderson to stand in. Messina 15-7 during the season, 3.51 ERA. Granderson, lots of power, and the big curveball in there for a strike, and we are underway.
Messina throws about 6 against him against this Tiger free swinging team. We may see Messina go just a little bit out of the strike zone every once in a while, because this is a free swinging team, and they will strike out a lot.
And that is down and in. Granderson is a speedy leadoff man, but he strikes out a huge percentage of the time. So he's not the classic leadoff. 260. He did have 19 homers, 9 triples. Curtis Granderson is only 25 years old. And Messina floats through a soft one for a called strike. 2-2. And that's one thing about Messina. You're liable to get anything at any time.
Well, he changes speeds a lot more now than he did earlier in his career.
He struck him out with the breaking ball.
He said if he'd have had him working in spring training by now, he would be an excellent first baseman. Says he has excellent hands, and he thinks that eventually if he stays there, he's going to be a very, very good first baseman.
Here's Placido Polanco. Shows bunt, takes a strike, and he quickly shoots a glance back at Las Diaz. 8th year in the big leagues for Las Diaz, and now he's getting some grief from Jim Leland in the Tiger dugout, and Diaz immediately is going to give it right back.
Yeah, that's a little bit early for all of this to start.
Jim Leland did not like that call. From what he saw of it from the dugout, he thought it was too high. Fastball is fouled off to the right and into the upward field. We get the 6-man umpiring crew as usual for the postseason. So Messina has come out throwing strikes. He has struck out Granderson. He's 0-2 to Polanco. Inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sean Casey on deck. Although for the moment the wind is not as brisk as it was just a few moments ago, blowing in from left across toward right. The curveball in the dirt struck him out, and Posada throws him out.
And that's one of the things that Messina has going for him that alone breaks out. And Polanco chased one that started in the strike zone and broke out. So what Jim Leland's upset about, he doesn't want them getting behind early because he knows that they're a free swinging group of guys and they will strike out.
Hence his displeasure with that call he thought was up out of the strike zone, immediately putting Polanco in a hole. Here's Sean Casey, 2 down, fastball away.
So he's keeping to his average almost. That's 2 out of 3. You know, a little better as far as first pitch strikes with Messina.
Now my numbers say through 70%.
I know, and mine say 68. I don't know.
I'm going with the Elias Sports Bureau, Joe.
Okay, I'm not gonna.
There's a called strike on the outside.
That's why I don't like statistics anyway. You know what I mean?
I'm going to give
Depends on who's preparing them, whether they come out one way or the other.
I'm going to give you the number for the Elias Sports Bureau, the official statisticians for baseball. I want you to be official from now on. And there is Derek Jeter. The low throw, and it is knocked out of the glove of Sheffield. And Sheffield could have gotten badly hurt on that play. Sheffield, who already has a wrist problem that put him on the shelf for most of the year. And he had the collision there with Sean Casey.
Well, you very rarely will you see Jeter make a poor throw like this. But, I mean, he had plenty of time because Casey doesn't run well. You can see Casey won't even be in the pitcher there. Sheffield tries to grab it, but it's coming out of his glove. And he gets run over by Sean Casey. I mean, you can see the throw is up the line toward home plate. But again, you just rarely see Jeter make a mistake like that, especially when he's not rushed with a guy like Casey who can run that well. And you see Casey's hustling down the line, but he just doesn't run very fast. But Gary seems to be okay.
So the error is to Jeter, and that's part of the inexperience for Gary Sheffield. He's only played first base for, what, 10 games? But sometimes the first baseman has got to just get out of the way over there.
Yeah, well, he came up the line to get it, which he did the right thing. Then he was just trying to make the tag. But again, it's just an unusual play from Jeter with a slow runner.
Miguel Ordonez, the most behind any American League pitcher. It was Alex Rodriguez actually made most of them. He made 7 just behind Messina. Messina in his games consequently had a lot of unearned runs allowed. Several weeks, and finally in September seemed to find his stroke again. Finished up 24 homers, 104 runs batted in. He was the only 100 RBI man for the Tigers. Fastball to strike.
You know, it's a curveball situation. He may throw you another fastball, or he may go to a changeup. So he has too many weapons for you to try to guess with him.
1-2, and fought off by Ordonez into the upper deck.
Another
maybe 3 Tigers who has a lot of experience against Messina. 10 hits, 35 at bats, lifetime, 1 home run. The breaking ball, and he got a piece of that. That was the strikeout pitch against the first.
Probably would have had some success with Ordonez as well.
Sean Casey at first. He's not really a base stealing threat, but Sheffield's on the bag with him nonetheless. 1-2. Fastball just off the outside.
And off the plate. And you can see he started, but he realized it was off the plate outside. Good. Well, that's why he's such a good hitter. I mean, he knows the strike zone.
And he struck him out with the high hard one. The veteran Messina strikes out the side. Damon, the veteran leadoff man, will start off in center field. Finished the year in a slump. Derek Jeter, 343, almost won the batting title. Shortstop. Bobby Abreu, 4 RBIs in his first Yankee postseason game. Right field, Gary Sheffield. He finished up in a hot streak. First base, Jason Giambi, who homered in game 1, the DH. Alex Rodriguez at third base, 121 batted in this year. Hideki Matsui also back, swinging the bat well. Jorge Posada, the catcher, 93 batted in. Robinson Cano, another guy who almost won the batting title. He's hitting 9th with a 342 batting average. So here we go. Justin Verlander, 23 years old, to Damon, and a fastball a strike. Verlander was 17-9 in the regular season, 30 starts. And a changeup blooped into left field. And that one is in there. Guillen stopped going out, and the left fielder Monroe never got there.
Well, Johnny Damon's is 1 strike, and that's a great pitch, down and sinking. He just kind of flips it down the left field line. I think the wind kind of bothered Guillen, but I don't know if he could get there anyway. I mean, that ball's in no man's land. He went a long way to get it. It would have had to be a great extension, maybe just to dive and catch it, but it's just a great flip down the left field line by Damon, and he does that well. He flipped one the other day that helped him get 2 runs, insurance runs in the late innings. I mean, he will slap the ball the other way with 2 strikes a lot of times, although he only had 1 strike then, but he will do that. I'll be interested to see how they pitch Derek Jeter. I mean, he had 5 hits the other day, and most of those pitches.
So here is Jeter. He is yet to be retired in this series. He drops a bunt. Pudge Rodriguez out to get it.
Well, the one thing they did change their strategy. He was set up away, meaning Rodriguez. They weren't trying to pound him in as they've tried to do most of the season, and they tried to do in the first game here on Tuesday. Well, Jeter plays the game to win. He's trying to win. He's trying to drop down a bunt, beat it out for a base hit, or move Damon into scoring position. And you can see he wasn't very happy. And watch the head of the bat where it ends up. He's got the ball correctly, but then he drops it. And anytime you drop the bat, that's when you get in trouble. So he was just trying to beat it out. I think it was a good play. It just didn't work.
So with one out, Damon still at first. Here is Bobby Abreu. 107 RBIs during the year for Abreu. 98 miles an hour with that two-seam fastball down and away for ball one.
Bobby Abreu is the guy that made this a great lineup, in my opinion. He was put in the third slot. He's a perfect third place hitter on this ball club or just about any ball club. And I think he's the one that solidified this lineup, because before Alex Rodriguez was hitting third sometimes, and he wasn't, as consistent as far as getting on base, driving in the runs in clutch situations as was Abreu. And I say that, and Alex Rodriguez still drove in 121 runs. He led the team.
Gary Sheffield on deck. Fastball just off the outside. Three yet. One out, one on. So Jeter was bunting not on Joe Torre's orders. He bunted on his own.
He was just trying to beat it out for a base hit. It wasn't a sacrifice.
And it's a 4-pitch walk.
That last one, because the last one was clearly off the plate.
Well, the one just before,
right,
looked like it could have been called a strike.
Well, I think that's the one that he was, and maybe Abreu thought it was a strike.
Well, maybe. Well,
yeah,
it could be.
Yeah.
All right, here's Sheffield. 2 men on, the cleanup hitter for the Yankees, the extremely dangerous Sheffield. Strike. You got the call on the inside there.
And Sheffield, as we all know, is one of the best fastball hitters in baseball. I don't think you can throw it too hard for Gary. Not only does he swing hard, he swings quickly. See, a lot of guys swing hard to get to the fastball. You have to swing quicker. And he's bringing it.
This year had a lot of pitches that were clocked at 100 miles an hour or more. Sheffield pops that one foul and back out of play.
Well, the key right there, Gary Sheffield.
Verlander actually was clocked at 100 or more 19 times this year. 2 men on. And did he swing?
Yes.
Yes, he did. Now, that's that curveball we're talking about, Joe.
Well, and that's the time to show it. He hadn't thrown one the entire time. He waits till he gets 2 strikes on one of the toughest hitters in the game, and then he throws it. See, Sheffield hadn't seen this.
Ooh.
He'd only seen the fastball.
Now, that is nasty.
Yeah.
And as you said before the game, that pitch could be the key for him today in getting knocked around by the Yankees or holding his own.
Exactly, but he's going to have to get ahead, though. The Yankees will not swing at that pitch on the first pitch. You have to be ahead for them to swing at it. If he throws that first pitch to get a strike, he'll get the strike, but he will not get the strikeout unless he has 2 strikes. They won't chase it.
Fastball to Giambi this year. The second baseman, Polanco, is out in shallow right field for him. And again, away, so he's fallen behind Giambi. Well, he gave up 6 runs in only 5 innings, and Leland said he really was just trying to be too fine. He gave him too much credit that day. Changeup in at the knees for a strike. Now Giambi's unhappy. 2-1. He's in Yankee Stadium against a great lineup.
Well, according to Kazon, it was a strike. Across the plate right at the knees.
It's not where the catcher catches it. It's where it is when it crosses the plate. That one very last of the first inning. Game 2 of this division series. The Yankees leading 1-0. No score in this game. Mike Messina having struck out the side in the Tigers' first inning with 2 men on and 2 men out. Young
time down the stretch, he was guiding the ball.
Runners go. Just off the outside, he walked him. And now they are loaded for Alex Rodriguez.
Let's take a look at the last pitch. Very hitting lineup it was. It's not just what they do when they put the ball in play, but they force you into situations where they can hurt you.
Damon, Abreu, Giambi, the 3 base runners. And here's Alex Rodriguez. And he blew that fastball by him at 101 miles an hour. Wow. Now, A-Rod, maybe a little over anxious there, Joe. That pitch was up. Not a pitch he had to swing out on the first pitch for the guy who's been wild in this inning. Came in the hands again at 101. 0-2.
Well, the one thing to remember, the toughest pitch to hit is that high fastball with that kind of velocity on it, middle of the plate in. And that's where those first two pitches were. He definitely has him set up for the breaking ball if he wants to throw it.
Bases loaded. The curveball, strike three call. The Yankees with a threat. They leave them loaded. Carlos Guillen coming up, then Pudge Rodriguez, no score. Here come the Tigers into the second inning, no score in the game. From Yankee Stadium, New York, New York. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan and Bonnie Bernstein. Game 2 of this American League Division Series. The Yankees won Game 1 on Tuesday. Carlos Guillen, and he's one of the Tigers' leaders. He's a veteran, excellent hitter, 85 runs batted in. And he gets a good share of walks as well, Joe.
Base, yeah.
Steals bases.
Good pitch.
There's Damon out in center, toward left center, and one away.
Let's take a look at the sequence of pitches to A-Rod in the last inning with the bases loaded. And I want you to notice one thing. Watch where the ball starts and where it ends up. Look at the movement on these pitches. Starts in the middle and just tails in. Now here's just a hammer. That's nothing you can do about that, Alex. And like I said with Gary Sheffield, you haven't seen that pitch. He threw you 2 fastballs, and you haven't seen the curve, and all of a sudden he drops that on you. You have no chance.
I mean, is that because the fastball coming in at 100, 101?
Yeah, you've got to look for the fastball because you can't hit it if you don't look for it. Okay. You have to look for it, but you still have to try to pick up some spin on the curveball. It's just difficult to do.
Alex was hot there for a while, as you saw by that graphic. Pudge Rodriguez, 69, batted in, hitting 6th in the order. Both of the Rodriguezes are hitting 6th. Much was made of the one hitting 6th. The New York Rodriguez. Messina throws out Pudge, and that is out number 2. Well, the major 8 Eastern. Fox will have game 2. The Dodgers and the Mets from right here in New York over at Shea Stadium. Had a wild game 1 over there yesterday on ESPN. And Messina with the breaking ball too high for ball 1 to Craig Monroe from Taiwan up against Tom Glavine, the veteran lefty, closing in on 300 career. 28 home runs, including one that Jim Leland finally said, although he doesn't like to label games as big or whatever, he said maybe the biggest hit of the year was Monroe's game-winning home run in the 9th inning right here back on August the 30th. Tigers have been losing, and they won that game.
I was watching that ball game, and they were going down meekly, and somebody walked the guy, Proctor, and then the next pitch was a slider, and he hit it right out of the ballpark to win the ball game.
Messina with the high fastball, and Monroe takes it. So Monroe, since that home run, he has hit only 181 the rest of the year. That one is drilled, and that's a fair ball. Touched by a fan interference, and the umpires will award Monroe second base on the fan interference. When a fan interferes with the ball, the umpires have to decide what they think would have happened if the fan had not interfered, and then award the man who hit the ball the proper base.
Well, it's a breaking ball, and I mean, he is a good breaking ball hitter. Especially when they leave it up, he reaches out, gets this one, and pulls it down the line. And it's just barely hits fair down the left field line. It's on the chalk line. And it actually bounces up into the stands.
Now the signal was not automatic double. The signal was fan interference, and that's a base hit for Marcus Timms. And heading around third and scoring is Craig Monroe, the first run of the game.
And make no mistake about it, that's a big run for Detroit, because, you know, they've probably thought to themselves, what happens if we can play them even for a while instead of falling behind in the ball game. They made a big comeback the other night and fell sharp. There's another big breaking curveball. He kind of fights this one off over the second baseman Cano's leap, and with it being hit that softly, there's no chance to try to get Monroe anyway with 2 outs.
Now Brandon Inge. Tigers have a very interesting lineup. There's a lot of power in this lineup, and an extraordinary amount of power in the last 3 spots in the lineup. Look out. Hello. Close home runs. He's hitting 8th. And Monroe led the team at 28 homers. He's hitting 7th.
That last pitch was a purpose pitch. They'd hit 2 breaking balls for base hits, and he wanted to make sure they weren't sitting on the breaking ball. So the first pitch, fastball in to Inge.
Now what about
or up and over the plate?
You thought that was over the plate?
Yeah, well, guys dive in a little bit. You can see right there that his first move is toward the inside part of the plate.
In against the Cardinals. And Kenny Lofton got very upset, and it created some bad blood between the clubs. Inge gave no sort of hostile reaction to it. That is fouled back out of play. Statistic. And, I mean, that's what it is, a statistic. And it's about almost identical to the regular season statistic for scoring the first run of the game. That's foul. So the count is 2-2 to Brandon Inge. Inge will tell you that they think that he's become a Gold Glove quality third baseman defensively. 2-2 to count. Marcus Timms, the runner at first. Can he swing? The appeal, yes. Alfonso Marquez brings him up. But the Tigers, with a 2-out rally, a double by Monroe. Tim singles him home. 1-0 Detroit. Matsui coming up. Now the Yankees trailing 1-0, and Hideki Matsui base hit. First ball swinging against Verlander. Now let's go down to Bonnie Bernstein with more on Justin Verlander.
Well, John, you'd think with 17 wins, Verlander, he went out by himself, took a look around, soaked up the aura. He said there was nobody in the stands, but I still felt like everybody was on top of me. I said, wait till you hear the voices that come from those stands.
Well, and he last night was all amped up, ready to pitch, prepared, getting his game pumped up and ready to pitch last night. And the changeup misses here to Posada.
Behind the plate, the guy that also comes in with clutch hits. I mean, Joe Torre has to be just ecstatic to have a guy like him for his position.
And still a clutch player.
Right.
A leader in the dirt for a ball. And it is 2-1. Where catchers' offensive numbers start to take a dive. But his are pretty healthy.
I think he had one of his best years considering all the things that went on and everything he had to go through.
Great lineup.
Yeah, definitely.
A guy who almost won the batting title is on deck, hitting 9th. 2-2. And there's that curveball that kind of hung up there, and Posada just got a piece of it. That's a fairly extraordinary number, and they can steal bases as well. That curve is pulled foul. 2-2. Look out. 3-2.
This is one of those situations where Joe would normally do that.
He does not go.
No, I don't see. I think Joe is going to be cautious, not only with the timing that it takes, unless you're in the game.
There's the throw to first. And also keep in mind, and he walks Posada. And now he's in trouble. 2 men on, nobody out. And the red-hot Robinson Cano coming up.
Now look, I mean, and he's one of your hottest hitters. I don't think you give him up, especially because he's left-handed.
Cano had a double and a single in 3 at-bats against Verlander back in June. Did he swing at that one? No. Third base umpire.
I wanted to see if he swung. It appeared to me that he...
2 men on, nobody out. That is in there for a strike. A fastball at 97. And that is foul off the left field line. And it is 1-2. Babas. Robinson Cano, as much as he's already accomplished in this game, Joe, he's only 23 years old. And that's a foul. I remember one of the first things we heard as glowing praise, Carew, maybe with a little more power than Rod.
He's a little different, more power. I don't know if we're going to see another hitter like Rod Carew. Rod Carew is, in my opinion, one of the
great homers and over 40 doubles. Verlander bluffing towards second. Working with nobody out in the second. 2 men on. Just off the outside.
At 100, these left-handed hitters, and the ball just moves at the last split second away.
The breaking ball to third. Inge gets one. Over to first. Too late.
Inge did not see that ball right away. Yeah, I mean, you can see him now, but he didn't see the ball. When that ball was first hit, I watched him, and he didn't move. And then all of a sudden, he picked it up. He hits it off the end of the bat. Now watch Inge down here. See, he's not moving. He's still not moving. And there's the ball almost 3/4 of the way down there. And he goes over, and luckily for the Tigers, he did spot it eventually because he did not see it when it first came off the bat.
Wow.
But a nice play late, you know, just the ball from going down the line.
Now that is very interesting because the background is the seats in shadows, not a bright background. Well, definitely did not move, and it might have cost him a chance at a double play because he reacted so late to it. He did get the lead runner.
Watch him here. Now, ball will be hit. Now, watch him after he hits. Now, here's the ball's hit. See, he's still standing there. He's still standing there. I mean, now he's still there. At the last second, you see him go after the ball.
It's almost like he heard it before he saw it.
Well, that's probably he knew the ball was put in play, he just didn't know where.
Too high. 97 miles, 2 walks in the first inning, got it out of a bases loaded jam. A single and a walk to start this inning. Cano then hit into a force play. Posada at second, Cano at first. Damon lifts a high fly ball left center. Battling the fierce sunshine out there, the center fielder Granderson called off Monroe, and that is out number 2. The two of them talking it over after that play as well.
He's better off pitching him away, but you have to mix him.
Jeter tried to bunt for a base hit his first time and popped it up to the catcher.
Now they come back inside.
The Jeter swing. Yes.
See, and I think that's a way you do it. You go in, then you go back away, you go away, you in and out. You try to mix your pitches. Fastball way up and in. He tried to check. He had just his shoulders actually swung the bat around. You see, it just keeps going because he did stop his swing, but his shoulders pulled it on around through the zone.
Jeter, 2 men on, 2 men out. Zumaya down and away at one. I say I'm talking about another 100-mile-an-hour plus guy. Zumaya out of the bullpen. We may see him later today.
Well, we're going to see somebody out of that bullpen because there's no way Verlander can go 9 innings throwing as many pitches as he's throwing.
He's thrown 43 pitches already. Justin Verlander. Jeter hit that one sharply right to short. Guillen to second, and the force out. Polanco forces Cano. More of a threat for the Yankees. No runs. Top of the order coming up for the Tigers, who lead. ESPN's coverage of Major League Baseball's Division Series presented by Budweiser. I'm John Miller along with Joe Morgan, Bonnie Bernstein with you from Yankee Stadium in New York. And Curtis Granderson, the leadoff man for the Tigers, who struck out his first time, standing in against Mike Messina. 1-0, Detroit ahead. Fastball to strike at the men to the plate against Verlander. He's thrown 44 pitches in that time, and they've stranded 5 runners in 2 innings. The curveball, Granderson ran up, and he's in a part of Goochland called Mannequin Sabbat. He said either one, not very big. That curveball in there for a strike. It is 1-2. 1-2 the count. Curveball. And the true hop for Sheffield. Messina covering.
You know what? That was an excellent play there by Sheffield. A lot of guys, you know, more comfortable with the position. They just grabbed the ball and said that he thought that he could be an excellent first baseman. He started off as a shortstop with Milwaukee years ago, so he's got good hands.
Placido Polanco takes a called strike. So he starts him up there again. Strike 1 again. Sean Casey on deck. Right to third. Alex Rodriguez. And that is out number 2. Been a long games to 1. That was under Sparky Anderson, and they had quite a ball club that year. Casey down the left field line into the corner. That ball is a foul ball. So the count to Casey is 0-1. Casey was safe on an error by Derek Jeter his first time as Matsui heads back to his position. 5 and 5. Jack Morris, Dan Petrie, Milt Wilcox at the top of the starting rotation. Guys like Aurelio Lopez and Chet Lemon out in center field. Strong defense, strong offense, strong pitching. And they won it all. Jeter far afield to get that one over to Messina. 3 ground ball outs. Bobby Abreu, Gary Sheffield, Jason Giambi. Big power. Game 2 of the American League Division Series. The Tigers and Yankees. The Yankees lead 1-0 in this best-of-5 series. The Tigers lead this game 1-0. Last out the third. Here is Bobby Abreu, the third place hitter for New York. And young Justin Verlander misses high for ball 1. Abreu walked his first time. Cleanup man Gary Sheffield on deck. Jason Giambi due up third. And a high foul off the tickets for last night are the only time you could use them is today when that one got rained out. And some people were not able to make it. It is not completely filled at Yankee Stadium today, although a huge crowd nonetheless. As Abreu belts one to right field, and that ball is off the wall. Ordonez plays the carom, holds him to a single.
Well, that ball was hit like a shot. It just wasn't high enough if you're a Yankee fan to get out of here. It was hit hard enough to get out, but it just didn't have enough height. Well, the one thing you can't do is pitch, from behind or even with these guys. They're going to sit on the fastball, and he gets the fastball up, pretty much in the middle of the plate, and he hammers it to right field. And again, they're lucky that ball just wasn't high enough to go out. Yeah, the Yankee players thought it might get out of here. They knew it was hit hard enough, just wasn't high enough. And you look at this game, John. Verlander has 2 shutout innings, but he has struggled with this lineup, and it's going to continue. But that's okay.
Here's Sheffield. He pulls one foul.
I mean, you can't expect a good game.
So it's more of a containment.
Right. That's all you want to do.
And
you cannot shut them down.
Nate Robertson was not able to stay out of the big inning here this year. He also had 8 pickoffs. Very unusual for a right-hander. And the curveball to Sheffield. He started him with a changeup that was fouled, and then
that if you're a hitter.
Giambi on deck. Now the curveball. This could be 2. Polanco steps in the bag 1. Over to first. A double play.
And a nice play there by Polanco. You say, why didn't he flip it again? The fewer tosses that you have, the better off you are. If you can take it yourself, as a middle infielder, you're always taught to take it yourself. The ball brings you to the bag automatically. 2 steps, and you fire. Now, 3 or 4 steps away, you have to flip it to your partner on the infield. But this ball takes him towards second base, 2 steps, and he has time for the double play. You don't want to transfer the ball and make too many tosses if you do not have to.
Now Giambi. And the changeup up and away for ball 1. Giambi's 0 for 5 in their bats with men in scoring position. Well, he came right back with another changeup. That one's a strike.
More of lately, not necessarily 2 changeups in a row, but pitchers backing up pitches. 2 fastballs in a row, 2 curveballs in a row. And I think that was one of the reasons there were more walks. Now you see guys backing them up. If they throw a good pitch, they come back with it. Well, he doesn't he doesn't handle the high fastball middle in as well as he does the other fastballs.
Curveball struck him out. And that's the first quick inning for Verlander. Maglio Ordonez, the cleanup hitter coming up. 1-0 Detroit. Now the Tigers. Here is Maglio Ordonez, the cleanup hitter against Mike Messina. 1-0 Detroit ahead. And that knuckle curveball, no swing, says Alfonso Marquez, the first base umpire.
Well, let's take a quick look. And he controlled it. Although in slow motion it looks worse than it really is, so he did check it.
That's a check swing foul. I thought in slow motion we're really seeing how far instructions to umpires about check swings. They said the determining factor is, did the hitter attempt to strike the ball?
Well, I mean, that's
Now, he definitely attempted to strike that one.
Yeah, that's a little different.
He did not strike
way of
it well.
looking at it.
Cano, he's got it, and there is one away. Ordonez is 0 for 2. He struck out his first.
Because anytime you try to stop your swing, you're attempting to not swing at the ball.
And I think that has cleared it up enough for the umpires that ever since then, they've called those just about exactly the same as they always did before. Carlos Guillen takes strike one from Mike Messina. Switch hitting Guillen, a real leader in this Tigers ball club, and they lost him for a while with a hamstring injury.
And they thought it was going to be a lot longer than it was, and that's when they were starting a tailspin, and they really needed him.
And that was a dark period for the Tigers. He rips that one past Sheffield, and Sheffield looked like he didn't see that one well off the bat. Abreu's got a strong arm, but no chance to get Guillen, who runs well. It's a stand-up double.
When you play so many night games, your eyes and your rhythm in the game, you know, you're accustomed to the darkness. And you play in a day game, there is an adjustment you have to make. This ball is ripped down the line. Fastball was supposed to be in. He misses his spot. It's ripped, but it's also hooking away from Sheffield, and he can't. He kind of lunges at it, but the ball is hooking, and you see he can't reach it. And like you said, he may not have seen it as quickly as he would like coming off the bat either.
The long shadows of October moving inexorably toward home plate. And the longer they get, the more difficult it will be for the left fielder in particular, shortstop, third baseman, to track balls in the air. There's the curve from Messina. Did he swing? No.
Control of the bat. I think that's the key.
You control the bat.
Yeah.
You're not attempting to strike the ball.
Exactly. All right, now we've got that cleared up.
I'm glad you cleared that up for me after all these years. Pudge Rodriguez trying to knock home Guillen from second base. That'll get Guillen to third base. Derek Jeter throws out Rodriguez. 2 down. Runner at third now. The game-winning home run in the 9th inning that brought the Tigers from behind to a win. Monroe, 29 years old. Yankee fans enjoying. How about some salted in the shell peanuts?
Oh, I still like that.
The bunt, but he was going to have to beat it out for it to work, and he bunted it right back to Messina. That was the Tigers' leading home run hitter. With a runner at third, he bunted. 1-0. Detroit, 28 home runs this year, tried to bunt his way aboard to get the run home.
Well, John, we're going to show you why he tried to bunt. The position of A-Rod was the reason he tried to bunt. It's not such a bad idea as it may seem, but he didn't execute. He should have taken that pitch because it ran in on him. If the ball's away, I think he would have been able to bunt it and maybe beat it out.
Here's Alex, and the curveball misses.
Let's take a look here. Now, see how deep Alex Rodriguez is. That's the reason he tries to bunt. If he drops the ball anywhere in here, it's a base hit. But the ball was inside. It ran inside. Now, watch, the ball runs inside on him, and now he just fights it off. What he should have done is taken that pitch when it wasn't right where he wanted it to be. And then I think, he could have probably executed properly.
Monroe back out in left field, having to contend with the bright glare of the sun now as Alex Rodriguez looks at a called strike.
I think he was mad because he bunted at a pitch that he couldn't get where he wanted it to go.
Look out, here comes Monroe. He's got it. Nice play into a slide. Granderson also is moving in, and Guillen, the shortstop, going out, but it was Monroe who took charge.
You know what's funny? I think Granderson or Monroe could have caught that ball, and great for Monroe to take charge, even though the center fielder usually takes charge in that situation. But either one of them, watch, Granderson can catch it as well. See, he gets there, and so does Monroe. So excellent coverage there by both the outfielders. They both came to get it. Monroe says, I got it, front, and makes the catch. But Granderson, you see, he could have caught it as well. That's what speed does for you in the outfield. It closes the gap very quickly.
Alex Rodriguez is 0 for 2 in the game. He struck out looking and jumped for ball one. Matsui singled to right his first time. And Verlander with his 61st pitch of the game, and somehow survived it, and then had a quick third inning. Timeout granted just as he was about to throw that ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
John, when the Yankees go into the postseason, their mindset is different than other teams. And I say that because when he's not looking past the Tigers, he's not looking past the next round, but he says that's what our goal is, to get those 19 games.
That's another base hit from Matsui.
Because those 19 games will get him through the World Series. So that's what he's trying to do it. That's how he sets his team up. And you say, well, other teams don't do that. Well, they have not had the success over the years that the Yankees have. When the Yankees go into postseason, Phil's is trying to get round for round and go forth. But again, he's not looking past anyone, but that's his ultimate goal.
Jorge Posada, the hitter. Change up for a called strike. Posada walked his first series.
Look at that, 12 consecutive, though. See, that they're used to being in the first round. They're not worried about the first round. They're trying to get, to the final round.
Curveball, strike, and it's 0-2.
And that's not being overly cautious. I mean, we've heard numerous occasions Derek Jeter say, well, if we don't get to the World Series, the season is not a success. And that's the mindset that they have.
And a curve that almost hits Posada. Nice save there by Pudge Rodriguez to keep the double play in order. Must agree with that thinking.
Yeah. Well, you would if you had the success that the Yankees have had their history.
So in other words, you're not satisfied.
The Yankees, goal is to win the championship.
Fastball from Verlander up and away. 3-2. He was 0 and
do that. And the history of this franchise has been very successful in accomplishing that goal.
Matsui, the runner at first, 1 out. He's not running, and that's ball 4. Back in trouble here in the 4th. 2 men on, 1 man out. And Robinson Cano, 3rd in the league in batting this year at the plate. Change up. Monroe. And just like that, Cano is gone.
Well, now that was a great pitch. And very rarely do you see guys start. We've seen more of this lately than before. Starting a hitter off with a changeup. And the reason is he has nothing to gauge it against in that at bat. So you throw him a changeup, and I think the reason it's successful, it moves away. This ball is moving that way, away from Cano, and he reaches out to get it. Now watch, see, he reaches to the ball. He just reaches out there to get to it, because the last moment that ball moved away from him. You see he's off balance. Excellent pitch.
Now Johnny Damon. Fastball away at 96 for both. No hits, 6 at-bats as a team with runners in what we call scoring position. Damon drives one. Way back there. Way back there. Upper deck. A 3-run homer.
John, I said it yesterday and I said it again today. It is just hard for any pitcher to go through this lineup 3 times without getting touched up a little bit.
Damon takes a bow.
And he just continued to have those situations where he'd pitch out of a jam, but it's just almost impossible to go through this lineup like that and not get hurt somewhere along the way.
3-1. The Yankees have turned it around on the Tigers. One swing at Johnny Damon's bat. Crushed the Yankees right here in this ballpark with 2 Game 7. A 3-run shot for Damon. He had 24 homers in the regular season. As Jeter takes one a little bit low. 1 ball.
98-mile-an-hour fastball. It goes a long way.
So Verlander supplied a lot of the power for him. Derek Jeter. Deep left center field. Monroe on the run. Can't get it. Up against the wall. And Jeter with his first hit of the day. And his 6th of this series.
Another fastball, and again, they've seen him 3 times now. This is the 3rd time around. They've seen the fastball. They've seen how much it moves, and they know how fast it is. The first time up, sometimes they can sneak the fastballs on you, or the breaking balls are breaking more than you think. But after you've gotten a guy, and as we mentioned in the open, John, yesterday, Jeter's 5 for 5, Abreu 4 RBIs. But they have 6 other All-Stars in this lineup that you have to contend with every day.
Here's Bobby Abreu, who has walked and singled. Change up for a strike. Remember, Abreu had 4 RBIs in game 1. And the Tiger Abreu. Yeah. 9 hitters in the lineup.
Yeah.
10-man team.
Yeah. Other than in the National League.
So Verlander has worked hard in every inning, although he had a quick third, but he's been in trouble in every other inning. There is Sean Casey. And the inning is over. But the 2-out, 3-run homer by Damon. And the Yankees have a 3-1 lead after 4. First ball swinging. Marcus Thames down the left field line. That's a fair ball, and it bounces up into the crowd. An automatic double. So the Tigers trailing by 2. But Marcus Thames leads off the inning with a double. Brandon Inge coming up, and let's go to Carl Ravitch for a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update.
I just remember he was arrested back in June after witnesses saw him strike his wife. A judge dismissed all charges today.
All right.
Well, the one thing the Tigers do, they do not quit. We've seen that. And you have to be proud of them if you're the Detroit fan, because they came from 5-0 to make it a game in game 1. And, you know, right away.
Former Yankee knocked in a run against Messina with a single in the second. Now he's hit a double against him. Thames has 2 doubles in the series and 3 hits and 6 at-bats. Well, Messina blew a fastball right by Brand. Leadoff man Curtis Granderson is on deck. 3-1 the Yankees had. Now Messina has been very efficient. In fact, they'd only thrown 17 pitches in the last 2 innings combined. Curveball in the dirt, and that gets away from Posada. And over to third base goes Thames. So what Inge was trying to do, the Yankees have now done for him.
Yeah, definitely.
So a runner at third, nobody out.
It's a breaking ball. Posada slides over to try to get in front of it, you see, and it bounces off him and bounces away. And Thames easily over to third base. A wild pitch.
27 home runs this year, 83 batted in, although he always batted low in the batting order. You see the shadows advancing toward home plate. Check swing and a foul.
Well, obviously, Messina's third. If he throws the curveball, he'll have to start it higher and make sure he throws a strike with it.
Tigers have only 4 hits so far against Messina. We're in the 5th. And again, he's staying after him with that high fastball, and Inge fights in it, making it hard for him to hit a ground ball. A fly ball hit well would also get it done. Strike 3 call.
And that's just Messina knowing how to pitch. I mean, he went from Messina.
Not unusual for Messina to get a called third strike. Now Granderson, curveball, too low. Granderson trying to get that runner.
And truthfully, John, I don't think he should have been trying to move the runner over. You are one of the RBI guys on this ball club. If it comes, if it hits it that way, you hit it that way. But to make an attempt is pretty difficult with a 3-1 lead.
That one's into left center field. Johnny Damon, the catch. He's got a weak arm, though. Here comes Marcus Thames. He scores easily. As Damon's throw looked like it had a parachute attached to it.
A-Rod's going to go over and tag third base to make sure he didn't leave too quickly. And third base umpire Paul Immel says he did not lead too quickly. Larry Pansino, I'm sorry, said.
Messina drops in a called strike with an off-speed pitch. Polanco is struck out and grounded out. Yankees. Tigers got a run on the second, driven in by Thames. And a run here in the 5th, scored by Thames. And that's a ball. The Tigers have been pretty efficient base at a time.
The Yankees have had a lot of opportunities.
They've had 3 guys get to scoring position, and twice they got him home. Broken back there by Polanco. A very nice year for the Tigers. 26 home runs, although a .256 batting average. But he only had 348 at bats, so that's a lot of power.
And you got to get, that's one of those things. Jim Leland gave him a chance to get a lot of at bats, and he produced for him.
Polanco, who injured him. Right past Sheffield, down the right field line. Polanco, not a real fast runner, and Abreu's got the strong arm, and Polanco will go back to first.
Well, the Yankees were playing him obviously to the right side, or else that would have been a double, but they were playing him that way. And this pitch is away, and Polanco just fights it down the line. You can see Abreu gets there quickly because they were playing him, shading him toward right. Yankee Stadium.
Sean Casey has reached on an error by Jeter and is grounded out. Curveball from Messina, too low. And they really struggled against the top right-handed pitchers. They needed a lefty to break that up, and Sean Casey was the guy they got. And they said, man, this guy's just a key. Plus, right. Casey's a guy you put.
According to Jim Leland, he hit a lot of balls hard that were caught. Change up, beautiful pitch.
Alex Rodriguez battling the sun, and the inning is over. Tigers get a run back. It's 3-2. Sheffield coming up, and also Jim Leland coming up from the Tiger dugout in 60 seconds. Back with Jim Leland in center, ready to go now to the cleanup hitter Gary Sheffield, Jason Giambi, and Alex Rodriguez to follow. Three great all-stars, three MVP type players with home run power, RBI capability, and they're just three of many for the Yankees, as Verlander really fooled him on that one.
Well, the one thing you have to be careful of still, this is the third time through the order. All these guys are such good hitters. Every one of the players in this lineup make adjustments to what the pitcher's doing. And you have to be very careful. You have to make good pitches the third time around against this group.
Change up in the dirt.
Those weaknesses all the time. Like he said, he knew that Damon, turns early in the count.
Yeah.
But you got to stay away from that. He couldn't stay away from it.
And as you pointed out, it was really a location mistake by Verlander. The catcher set up toward the outside and ended up right out over the plate. And that is strike three. He got him spinning away on the curveball, and it broke back for the strikeout.
And that's one of those situations where if you're the hitter, you can't argue. You don't know where it was. I mean, you really can't. You cannot argue, and Gary doesn't argue. He's not saying it was a strike, but he doesn't know for sure. There's a fastball on the inside corner, another changeup, the beautiful changeup. Now here's the pitch. Watch this. And he doesn't know where it is. He can't argue because he doesn't know where that pitch was.
Wow.
That's one of those. I remember we grew up in the Bay Area. The two of us, Sad Sam Jones used to do that all the time. He'd have guys fall down and the curveball would break over the plate. So very few people throw it.
Wasn't it Sam himself was that sad? It was just a lot of hitters were sad when they had to face him.
Yeah.
And he was a very poor hitter. Could not hit. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jason Giambi. Although Sam Jones really, Joe, a little before my time.
Oh, yeah.
I know you remembered him. But
I do.
That one deep down the right field line. Hooking. Foul.
Well, another pitch down and in to a left-hander. And remember, we've always said this. The left-hander's bat seems to speed up a left-hander's bat when you go down and in.
The curveball. And Casey waves off Verlander. Takes it himself. Casey, mighty Casey. 2 down. Alex Rodriguez comes up now. Yes. I mean, he is such a great player that his numbers for the season are a disappointment.
And that's unbelievable. When a guy hits 30-plus home runs, driving 120, a great player, has such great talent that, everybody's disappointed when he doesn't hit a home run every time up or something.
Well, in this game, he came up with the bases loaded in the
21. That's not bad.
A lot of strikeouts for A-Rod, though.
Right. Second most in his, ties the most in his career hitter normally. But those strikeouts are the reason that he didn't hit 300 this year. Because he didn't put the ball in play more times, and if he puts the ball in play, obviously he's going to get more base hits.
Curveball, strike 3 call. Second time that A-Rod has been called out on strikes, and there is booing at Yankee Stadium. Joe Torre will visit with us for the Yankee dugout in 60. Big ball game here today, game 2 of the division series. Maglio Ordonez leads off for the Tigers, the cleanup hitter. The RBI leader for the Tigers, a veteran. Broken back. And there is Cano. Ordonez is gone, 1 away. Let's go down to Bonnie Bernstein.
Well, John, it's great for Moose that he can't to him. Customarily in the postseason, we'll see Mo go 2 innings day after day after day. But like Torrey just said, he's only available for that 1 inning to try to save his arm.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, Mariano Rivera has gone more than 1 inning in 65% of his postseason appearances. And Joe,
he doesn't use him as much during the regular season, you know, in those situations as he has to. I mean, because he doesn't have to. But in the postseason, he's ready.
He did use him more than 1 inning. So, but he had the muscle problem in his elbow that shut him down. And Torrey is just use the Elias Bureau. Come on. Look at those numbers. A .80 earned run average, less than 1 run per 9 innings allowed.
No, I think he's the greatest postseason closer in the history, but I think he's head and shoulders.
That ball is hit deep by Guillen. Way back there. It's tied up. Carlos Guillen into the home run porch at Yankee Stadium, and we start over again. It is 3-3. Guillen, who doubled his last time, and he plants one in the bleachers this time.
And this is what the Tigers did on Tuesday night. They fell behind 5-0, but they just came right back and made it a ball game. Now in this ball game, they fell behind quickly 3-1, but guess what? They've tied it in the next 2 innings. They've come up with 1 run. So this is an excellent ball club. They just do not quit. And Guillen hits it. He knows it's gone as soon as he makes contact. This is not a big ballpark in right field.
That's got to be a mistake there by Messina.
Yeah, definitely. But he'll have to, I mean, if Guillen hits that ball in Detroit, he may have to look at it a couple of seconds longer. But here he knows it's gone. And his teammates all know that they're tied.
Well, make no mistake about it. The Yankees have all of these all-stars and MVPs and great hitters up and down the lineup. The Tigers aren't as well known. I mean, Pudge Rodriguez is well known.
Maglio.
3 home runs this year. They can hit the long ball with anybody.
The trouble is they're kind of a hit and miss. You know, they strike out a lot, they hit some home runs, but they do not walk a lot.
Sheffield stretching out, kept his foot in the bag for the putout on a wide throw by Jeter.
Jeter a little erratic today as far as throwing is concerned. He's testing Gary Sheffield. Carlos Guillen's home run swing. See how he leads with the hand? Now watch the barrel of the bat catch up. Right there, look at that. I mean, that's right, perfect, mashed against the bat. You see, that bat didn't bend. I think that's one of those maybe maple bats, harder bats. It was more like, you know, a normal Louisville slugger or something.
Here's Craig Monroe and a curveball inside from Messina. Monroe has.
It was a great idea because A-Rod was deep, but he's got to make sure it goes foul if it's not a base hit.
Pop up by Monroe, shallow center. And there is Damon. And that's the inning. And Joe's talking about the 2-out bunt by Monroe with a runner at third in the 4th. 3-3. Matsui coming up. 2 of the American League Division Series continues now from Yankee Stadium, New York. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan and Bonnie Bernstein. The Yankees had a 3-1 lead there for a while on a home run by Johnny Damon in the 4th inning, but the Tigers, with a run in the 5th and a run in the 6th, have tied the game. It's 3-3. Hideki Matsui has singled twice against Justin Verlander. This one he rolls right to Polanco, and there is one away.
You know, it was interesting when we talked to Jim Leland. He said, you know, an average pitcher, he would have already been gone because the Yankees would have.
He had thrown 92 pitches coming into this inning. Jorge Posada, who has walked twice in the game, and a foul out of play. The Tiger bullpen is very busy right now. Be ready if needed. And that Tiger bullpen is a pretty good bullpen.
Right.
I mean, they got some guys who can throw very hard. Rodney's a hard thrower. Joel Zumaya is probably the hardest thrower on the planet, which is saying something when we've been watching Verlander all day. And there's Todd Jones, the veteran closer, who did not throw all that hard, but is a strike throwing machine.
John, I think this game takes on a more back problem. Anything can happen on any given pitch. So you do not know exactly what you're going to get. And so if the Tigers feel like if they can go home 1-1 and not knowing what Randy can give the Yankees tomorrow, the edge would switch to them. So we'll have to see about that. But we all know if Randy's healthy, we've seen what he's done in his career in the postseason. Well, we know he's not going to be 100% healthy, but if he's healthy enough to, throw as he would like.
A couple of veterans, Randy Johnson and Kenny Rogers. And we'll have that tomorrow night on ESPN and ESPN HD, 8 o'clock Eastern. A foul out of play by Posada off the more time in New York.
Yeah.
Posada with another foul back out of play. Well, I hope you make it.
All right.
8 o'clock tomorrow.
I'll definitely
Whether you're there or not, I'm doing the game tomorrow.
I will definitely make it.
Randy Johnson, of course, was brought here for these games.
Yes, exactly.
And last year, when we were here at Yankee Stadium, he pitched Game 3 against the Angels, and he got knocked around. And they were not happy with him. Achieved going home.
Yeah. Well, you always like to come in and do what the Oakland A's did to the Twins, win both games, but you would be satisfied with a split here.
Posada, base hit on the 9th pitch of the at-bat. He dunks one into left field. So with one out and one on in the 6th inning, let's take a look at Game Track presented by Intel. Marcus Cano has hit into a force play and flied out to left. Johnny Damon on deck. Verlander pours one in there for a strike. Now he's not throwing that 97, 98, 100-mile-an-hour fastball as often, Joe.
Well, you know what he's doing now? He's trying to spot the ball better. Every pitch to Cano up until that last pitch had been away. That was a fastball in, and it surprised Cano. He wasn't ready for it.
Now Joel Zumaya, number 54, gets up in place of Fernando Rodney. Jamie Walker, the lefty, still up. And that fastball is badly up and away. That's the 105th pitch for Verlander. So he could be right on the edge of being out of this game here. Well, here comes manager Jim Leyland right now, and he's already made the call. With a 1-ball, 1-strike count, he's bringing in the left-hander, Jamie Walker.
Well, he did not like the release of that last pitch.
So Verlander, that man, 23-year-old Goochland, Virginia native, Justin Verlander.
Well, he had a good curveball going.
And he walked 4, struck out 5 in 5 1/3 innings. And at 105 pitches, I think, as you said,
Have the snap and the velocity.
so he had thrown 105 pitches. This is Jamie Walker, left-handed specialist. He inherited a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Now it is going to 3 balls and 1 strike to Cano.
And the one thing, grind a pitcher down, so to speak.
Posada's been the king of the grinders today. He's over at first. Well, this could be 2. Guillen to second 1. Polanco over to first. 2, a double play. Jason Verlander leads the cheering for the Tiger dugout. Marcus Thames having a big day. Coming up when we return. This Telecom HD presented by Olivia. With Joe Morgan and Bonnie Bernstein, I'm John Miller. And we are at Yankee Stadium. And that ball is driven by Marcus Thames down the left field line. He's got his 3rd straight hit. Now, let's see the arm. Well, it was strong enough, apparently, for Thames not to challenge Matsui. He held on with a single. But Thames is now 3 for 3. Brandon Inge coming up. And let's get an update from Carl Ravitch. A lot different than without, and they were without for most of the last 2 months of the year.
Big difference in that lineup with that left-handed batter Jim Edmonds in the middle.
Brandon Inge. That ball was not a foul. It just got away from Posada. And over to second base goes Marcus Thames.
That's one of those balls where the barrel of the bat hides the ball from the catcher. I mean, the ball looks like it's going to be bunted, and then it disappears, and then Inge gets his bat out of the way. And watch, the ball is right in line there, right there in line. Then he moves it. And it becomes a pass ball. But watch this. It's right in line with Posada catching the ball. Then he moves it out of the way at the last second. And it hits off the heel of his glove. It had a little more movement on it than he saw out in front.
So now runner is at second base. And Brandon Inge went over and chatted with third base coach Gene Lamont after that pass ball. He's still pulled in at the corners. Shows bunt and takes ball 2. Remember, Messina is an excellent defensive.
Decisions here. What do you do? Do I go ahead and give Inge up and bunt him over, even though the 2 balls, no strikes? Granderson, a left-handed hitter, but he strikes out a lot. So what do you do here? That you have to think about all those things, and he's already done that.
You let him swing. Nope, he's bunting. And there he gets it done. Messina off the mound to get it, but his play is to first. Cano covering. Brandon Inge gets it done. So Tim's over to third, 1 out. He is the possible go-ahead run.
And that tells you something about
before they head off to St. Louis. The infield is in for the Yankees all the way around.
And the shadow.
Tim's at third. Granderson. There's that changeup from Messina.
And you can see the shadows are out across halfway between the mound and the plate. That's when it's most difficult to pick up. You know, do you want to put him up there and say, just put the ball in play for me?
He's got to get one to the outfield here to get Tim's home. And Messina follows it up with a fastball. I mean, he threw a 72-mile-an-hour changeup and then a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and he's ahead of him 0-2.
And the great thing, John, the changeup was away, and then the fastball tied him up inside. That's
fifth inning to get Tim's home from third. But now he's behind 0-2. We got a piece of that one.
Well, that's a good job. I mean, you can see him cut down on his swing, try to make contact there. It wasn't the big what he does, John. He sets you up, and then he puts you away.
Does not want him to put the ball in play here. Curveball, and he hung that one up there.
That's not the good pitch. That's not where he wanted that.
He struck
much, but you want to try to make sure you don't bounce it.
Well, and Posada's had some ball blocking problems here in the last few innings.
Good job.
That's left center field. That's into the gap. Marcus Timms will score the go-ahead run. Granderson's going to try for 3. The relay by Jeter not nearly in time. Good. A triple for Curtis Granderson, and the Tigers have gone back ahead 4-3.
And it was a great job, John, because he cut down on his swing. Messina tried to get him on a high fastball, and he slapped it the other way. But he also cut down on his swing on getting the job done and knowing what he's doing. Watch this, at a high fastball, that's what they want. It's not up as much as he wanted it, but you can see the short swing, real short, and he drives it to left center field. And he puts the Tigers ahead. And again, you have to give these Tigers a lot of credit because they were down 3-1. Now they're up 4-3.
And Marcus Timms,
he says, I think he can get the job done, and he rewards him by getting the job done. But a great job by Granderson just to cut down on his swing.
Now, another important run to get home. The infield is in. Messina sinks that fastball inside for ball 1 to Placido Polanco.
And you have to be careful if you're the Yankees because the right guy up there to give himself a lot of options.
Well, an excellent heads up. Polanco fouls one back. All right, so he's giving him a swing.
Right. He's got a lot of options, though, right now. Sequence so that you won't know when the guy's coming, if he is coming.
Granderson at third. Up and in as he spins away from it. And Polanco is ahead on the count
each time.
If it's on, Granderson cannot give it away.
Right.
Cannot leave too soon where Messina could pick it up before throwing. 2-1 the count. Curves in. 3-1. There's Jim Leland relaying a sign over to
Lamont,
his third base coach Gene Lamont. And on the count to Polanco. Infield in. Fastball and a foul out of play into the upper deck off to the right.
This is interesting because first of all, Lamont doesn't know where to find him to get the sign because he's moved.
Well, maybe that's a sign. 3-2 the count. Caught by Rodriguez. Not in time to double him up at third.
Nice play by Granderson. One of the things you're always taught is you get off the bag as far as the third baseman is off the bag. You do not get off far enough so that if a line drive comes your way, you can't get back. So Granderson does this perfectly. See the air there? He's only getting the same distance over here. And he starts back. Excellent play there by Granderson as he beats A-Rod back to the bag.
I mean, he did well not to get doubled up.
Oh, yeah, that was just excellent base running.
I mean, he's not supposed to get doubled up.
But how many times have we seen guys get doubled up in that? They freeze instead of starting back. He immediately started back. He did not.
Sean Casey, and if Casey gets a hit here, we'll see how valuable that was. Right. Granderson's ability to get back. Change up, right center field, Damon, and that's the inning. So that might be very big. They did not get Granderson home from third. Top of the order with the Yankees. Damon, Jeter, Abreu coming up. 4 leads as we go to the last of the 7th. And we are very pleased now to be joined by our colleague, Peter Gammons.
If Jones pitches normally, Zumaya has got one of the great arms in baseball. You see all that power coming in. And, you know, at this time of year, those guys who are really hard throwers dominate games. And Zumaya, at times, was the most feared right-handed pitcher in the American League. So this is kind of a fun situation. However, we also know that the ghosts do come out in October in Yankee Stadium in the 8th and 9th innings.
Well, Peter, I know I speak for baseball fans everywhere. We are thrilled to have you back, and it was great chatting with you.
Thank you very much.
All right, see you, Peter.
Okay, Joe.
See you later. All right.
Peter Gammons from the studios and here at Yankee Stadium. Jamie Walker to Johnny Damon. He's quickly ahead of him. Nice curveball.
And if you're the Tigers, you say, if I can find 9 outs here, you know, we're in good shape.
Right to the second baseman, Polanco. Came in to get it. 1 away. That's a big man to keep off the bases late in the game.
And I knew they weren't going to let him pitch to Jeter. They're bringing Zumaya in because he was out warming up, getting ready for Derek Jeter.
Well, we had the heat with Verlander. And then we had the crafty left-hander. And now the heat is going to be turned up even more. On ESPN with Derek Jeter at the plate, Bobby Abreu on deck, and the young hard thrower Joel Zumaya, the rookie, into the game. And this is his postseason debut. And that fastball is too high to Jeter. The stadium radar gun got that one at 100 miles an hour.
John, I think the Yankees lost a little bit of the crowd enthusiasm by playing this game today. It's not as exciting a crowd as we're accustomed to or as loud.
Now Zumaya, who sometimes has a problem harnessing all of that power. He's behind Jeter 2-0. Is a great Yankees fan, always was. And that's a called strike. His dad was a Tigers fan when Jeter was a kid. I said, well, how come you were a Yankee fan? And he said, well, he used to go in the summer times to New Jersey to stay with his grandma. And so he got some exposure to the Yankees. But he said he also was nothing against the Tigers. Says his dad was a Tiger fan, so he wanted to be somebody else's fan. That's a foul off the right field line. That one at 101 miles an hour. Now, Joe, during the regular season, the starting pitcher for the Tigers, Verlander, was clocked 19 times at 100 miles an hour or more. Joel Zumaya, who comes out of the bullpen, only threw 83-something innings. He was clocked 231 times.
Well, the difference is one's a starting pitcher, and he can't just let it go every pitch, where a relief pitcher is only going to be in there a short period of time. He can let it go.
2-2 the count.
They're trying to stay away from Jeter. Let's see if he can. No.
Did he swing? No.
Well, you can see Pudge Rodriguez was set up away, and the pitch before that was away, and Jeter could not handle it.
Up and in. That will get your attention if you're Jeter.
Get your attention.
Well, he needs a strike right here. 3-2 the count.
Well, Jeter doesn't have to look for anything but dead red here. He knows he's going to get a fastball. And I don't think you can try to spot it and hit the outside edge. You just have to try to throw a strike.
Strike!
Well, a foul tip.
Off the bat, into the glove of Pudge Rodriguez for strike 3.
Well, he got the fastball away. And Jeter tried to check his swing, but he tipped it. And Pudge Rodriguez was able to hold on to it. Watch, Jeter goes out there to get it, and then he tries to check his swing. I don't know if he even checked his swing, because, let's see, I don't even think he checked his swing. Watch the barrel of the bat. Well, he did check it, but he did tip it. And he knew that he had touched it.
So 2 down. And Jeter showing the frustration. Yankees needed him to get on base there in front of the big hitters. Here's Abreu, but with 2 down and the base is empty. Check swing and a foul.
Well, it's like you're saying you do not have a lot of time to make up your mind whether it's a strike or not. When Jeter was up there, of course, the shadows do not help you to decipher what the pitch is or whether it's in the zone.
A little chilly today at Yankee Stadium. Autumn arrived in a hurry overnight. Look at that, a slider. Strike 2 call. 100 miles an hour and then a slider.
Well, that's the key. I mean, if he can get ahead and throw you that pitch, you're not going to swing at it because you're looking for a fastball. And he never got ahead of Jeter in a position where he could throw it, but he gets the first strike to Abreu and he comes back with the curveball.
Fastball up and away. Zumaya is from the San Diego area. Was it Ken Caminetti was one of his favorites? And of course Tony Gwynn, and just that team in general. That was a team that went to the World Series against the Yankees. 1-2. And the fastball is fouled off to the left. Stadium radar gun got that one at 102 from Zumaya. Round draft choice 4 years ago. This is his 5th year in the Tigers organization, so he made his way through that farm system. Scott Proctor is up but not throwing right now. That slider. Polanco. And the Tiger bullpen has been very strong. On to the 8th inning. Ordonez, the cleanup hitter. Then Carlos Guillen is having a big day. 4-3 Detroit. And greats as well as other notable days and nights in this ballpark. There have been huge heavyweight championship fights that were staged here. There have been more than one pope who has celebrated Mass here at Yankee Stadium. The big ballpark in the Bronx, as Reggie Jackson used to call it. Here is Scott Proctor. And he throws pretty hard himself. He starts Maglio Ordonez with a immediately throwing the ball right into the shadows to Ordonez. Another slider. Got the call on that one. It's 0-2. And Ordonez can't believe it.
Well, make no mistake about it. It's difficult for the umpire as well as the hitter to see that ball coming out of the light and then into the shadows. I'm not making any excuses, but I'm just telling you it's difficult for him as well as it is the hitter.
0-2 the count. Another slider down and away. So we have a who is 0 for 3, struck out and popped out twice. There's the fastball, very high. 1-2. You saw
in the batter's box and behind the plate as the umpire.
And that is too low. I mean, the hitter's eyes in that replay. 3-2 the count. And he got him chasing that high fastball at 96. Well, the stadium radar gun said 96. Ours said 94. 3-2 the count. Red Sox slugger. And he's always been one of the top sluggers in the game. Carlos Guillen having a big day on deck. Again, 3-2. And he walks him.
From 0-2, he walked him, and that's one of the problems this bullpen, you know, not putting guys away. I mean, had him 0.
I mean, they have to win today. So the Padres will let it all hang out against the Cardinals in that one. Here is Carlos Guillen. Herd ball from Proctor in there for a strike. Guillen had a double in the 4th and a homer in the 6th. Cardinals won game 1 over Jake Peavy 5-1 with their ace. Pitcher able to go in game 1, and he won it. Guillen. Damon with the glasses down. Deep center field. He makes the catch. And that was not easy. He was battling a fierce sunshine out there. 1 away. Ordonez back to first.
Well, you can see Damon looking directly up into the sun, and he makes the catch. Obviously, those are pretty good sunglasses. Those are the kind I like, the ones you flip down.
Yeah, well, they had
the ball go up and then you flip him down.
He had him up when the ball was hit, and then he flipped him down as he was going back.
See, those are the flip kind. You see a lot of guys wearing regular sunglasses.
Here is Ivan Rodriguez. He is 0 for 3 in the game. 0-1. You know, in the old days here, when they owned, the Babe would play left, and Musial would play right again.
Well, that's why he was the Babe.
The Babe thought, well, that's going to injure my eyes. I had to stand out there squinting up into the sun all day. And see, there's the... Say Babe Ruth would not go to the movies either. Thought that would not be good for his eyes. That's where I draw the line, Joe.
Nice
Pudge
swing.
fouls that one back.
That may be the best swing I've seen him take, in this ball game. Nice, compact.
He struck out twice in his 0 for 4 in game 1 on Tuesday. Runner at first, 1 out. Craig Monroe on deck. And that's too low. A ball and 2 strikes. That was all. Ordonez, the runner at first. Proctor with a 1-2 count. And that is low.
But you can see that he has a...
Well, Proctor throws a lot harder than Messina, but he's not quite as deceptive as Messina. 2-2 the count. Slider up and away.
And the crowd's getting into it, but all those pitches are off the plate, and Pudge is doing a good job of taking them.
Here's the runner at first. Sheffield on the bag with him. We'll keep an eye on it.
And if you're the Yankees, you let the shortstop cover.
There he goes. And Pudge got one high and tight, fouled it into the upper deck off to the right.
Interesting, they had Cano covering, and Rodriguez
himself in the shadows now. This is quite a battle. This is the 8th pitch of this at-bat. Ordonez runs. The slider. Center field. And Damon again flips the glasses down. And again makes the catch. Another deep dive. This one hit by Pudge Rodriguez.
Well, I thought he hit that ball well, but that's just a big part of the ballpark.
It is, again, he's making it look easier than I think that it... Now Craig Monroe. Get the look from the camera in the outfield behind Matsui in left field. That's the real difficult field. Craig Monroe, curveball, and he did not get all of it out of the end of the bat. And there is Matsui. Proctor might have gotten away with one right there. Sheffield, Giambi, A-Rod, power coming up for the Yankees, down by a run. But on to say, it's your duty, Judy.
Well, I tell you what, he'd be proud of this. This is a perfect, great matchup here. This is the heavyweight slugger against another heavyweight slugger. Great quick bat of Gary Sheffield and Zumaya's fastball.
Yep. Center field. There is Granderson. One away. Wow, what a relief.
Yeah.
If you're Zumaya to get that guy on just one pitch.
And if you're Jim Leland, you're happy. I mean, that was a lot.
All right, so Boomer's on the mound, and Boomer's going to be caught in the action. They got all the Boomers out there in San Diego. That's too high to Jason Giambi. Now, Giambi's proceeding.
The key is if he can get his fastball in on Jeter, I think he has a better chance. Giambi, I'm sorry. Right there. Get it in. You got to get the ball in on him if you think that you're going to have a
101 miles an hour.
That proverbial rusty swinging gait. So he doesn't handle the fastball as well as Sheffield does. In fact, most people keep wanting Jeter to hit again. Giambi's not going to chase many pitches. That's a breaking ball he's calling for. Now he's going to go back away with the fastball.
Little high.
Really went away.
Yeah, went to the backstop. 2-2. Meyer displays. That'd be a good look for you, Joe.
Yeah, right.
No, really. And he right by him.
Yeah, he cannot catch up with his fastball as Sheffield could.
Now, our radar gun said 103. I didn't know that radar gun went up that high.
Fastball away, fastball for a strike, another fastball for a strike, and you can see he's getting a lot of movement on the fastball. It's not just a straight fastball. And this is good. I mean, the fans are cheering for A-Rod as much as they booed him this year. I mean, they're showing him a lot of support here.
He is 0 for 3 in this game. He struck out with the bases loaded to end the first. And that's ball one. He flied out, leading off the full at bats where Verlander got him on strikes. Wow,
man. I tell you, right there, and you see Rodriguez, Ivan's going to go out and talk to him. But this is a perfect pitch up and under the hands, but his target was over the other way. And there was no way Rod could hit this. He's late and he's underneath it. But Ivan Rodriguez wasn't happy.
The Yankees 3. The Yankees lead the series 1-0 to none. Last of the 8th, 2 down, nobody on. Alex Rodriguez.
That's where he wanted it.
Strike 2 call.
Beautiful pitch by Zumaya, and you see Ivan went out and told him, get the ball away. Now look at the target. Well, let's see where the target is, and he hits that target. The last time up, the target was there, and he was up and in. That's why Ivan went out and talked to him.
He painted him at 103. Struck him out.
No chance.
At 101. Changeup. Man, that was something. 9th inning. Marcus Timms having a great day. Coming up, Tigers lead 4-3. Here we go to the 9th inning. And Brian Bruni, right-hander from Astoria, Oregon, is into pitch now for the Yankees in relief of 16 games and a .87 ERA. And back to the screen and that high fastball. Bruni throws hard. Hitters started catching up to him. He was up and down between the minors and the majors. Finally, the D-backs released him this year. And the Yankees went out and signed him. Center. Astoria, Oregon, Joe. That's up in the Lewis and Clark country. Beautiful country. That's too high for a ball. And Johnny Pesky. And Timms pops that one foul. Posada and Sheffield. No. Sheffield went into a slide as he got near that fence in front of the dugout. And Timms fights it off over toward the Tiger dugout. To the count.
Like a halfback and
collided with that railing, and it was bad news for the railing. Marcus Timms has had an RBI single. He's doubled and scored, singled and scored. He's 3 for 3. He's had a hand in 3 of their runs, but Bruni gets him. Check swing, strike 3.
A pitcher just overpowering the Yankees and a guy like Alex Rodriguez, one of the best hitters in the game. You can't do that with slow, guys who throw a lot of change-ups, all-speed pitches. You have to have some power pitchers to be successful consistently in the postseason.
There's ball 1. And the starter today was young Justin Verlander, who also has extraordinary power.
And as Leland said, the only reason he was still in the game
after putting Kenny Rogers.
Yeah.
But he throws strikes. That's what Jim Leland said that they wanted. 3-0, and I think Bruni thought maybe he had one in there. 5 1/3. He allowed 7 hits and 4 walks. The Yankees put 11 men on base against him. They put 10 men on base in just the first 4 innings. Paying for it right now. Johnny Damon's 3-run homer in the 4th. All of the Yankees runs. On the inside again, 3-2. Chances, nearly as many base runners as the Yankees, but they have the lead. Right by him. 98 miles an hour. 2 down. Let's go to Carl. I'm talking about how efficient the Tigers lineup has been today. Well, here is Exhibit A, Curtis Granderson. He has come up twice with and once with a triple. Great at bats both times. He fell behind Messina in the 7th inning. 2 quick strikes in this October shadows here at Yankee Stadium. And Bruni changed up on it. 1-2. Four to 3 Detroit. Top of the 9th, 2 down, nobody on. 2-2 the count. So they have almost every time they've had any kind of a chance to score, they have scored. And they lead 4-3. 2-2. Back to Bruni. Now, last chance for the Yankees. Down by a run. As likely Todd Jones will be coming in from the bullpen. And there is the veteran right-hander. The Yankees will have the last third of their batting order, but still all-stars. Hideki Matsui, Jorge Posada, and Robinson Cano. Their closer in to try and wrap this one up as they get ready to head. Rodriguez, he had 37 saves, Joe. He's not the prototypical closer. He's not a hard thrower. But Jim Leland said he just wanted somebody that was going to throw. So you see Matsui, who's had 2 hits today, 2 for 3.
Normally when you're at the bottom of the lineup, you think you have it's easy to get through. But with Matsui, Posada, and Cano, it's not easy.
3-run 4th inning rally, and he is grounded out. He's 2 for 3. Hard little cutter in under the hands. 1-1. Good. The ball's going to be put in play. Too low. Read the lineup off. He said, wow, that's cool. That's going to be a lot of fun. You can't miss any spot for 5 games. Base hit. The 3rd hit of the game for Matsui, and they're going to lift him for
the results are similar.
There's Melky Cabrera, the pinch runner at first base. Got the call on the outside, and Posada didn't like it. Strike 1. Jones has ever pitched in a division series game. He pitched to a couple of batters in the LCS for the Red Sox 3 years ago, and quickly it is 0-2 to Posada.
Posada a chance to hit the hole on the right side. Well, he went in there again.
He did not have much than 10 at-bats lifetime against Jones. Everybody's standing at Yankee Stadium. Strike 3 called right down the middle with a fastball.
Well, he got him looking for the slider in. First pitch fastball away, and Posada was upset. That was a slider in. That's a good pitch. Another strike. And here's the payoff pitch. That is definitely a strike.
Jason Giambi looked like he had questions for Posada about Jones' stuff. And here is Robinson Cano. And Cano has been held hitless tonight.
Well, they better be careful.
And he has been held hitless in this series. Strike 1.
Well, you're one thing about Todd Jones. You're right. He's throwing strikes. He's coming after him. And he's throwing him
just to throw a soft
up
there.
He's not a soft tosser.
Yeah. And he's ahead of Cano, 0-2.
Anytime you can come inside on the left-handers.
Melky Cabrera. Everybody standing at Yankee Stadium. The breaking ball. Now that, I mean, it was a good breaking ball.
Less than 2 outs. That's what you have to guard against.
0-2. Back to the fastball. That's foul off the left field line. Jason Giambi looking on. 0 for 3 for him. Justin Verlander, the Tigers' young starter, still out there. Curveball. Tapped slowly. Foul ball. The crowd seeing Pudge boot it, but it was a foul ball.
Well, the Tigers get a break there, but Pudge knew what he was doing. He grabbed the ball quickly. He tried to. He wasn't going to wait and let it bounce out in front because Cano would have beaten it out anyway. Now watch what Pudge does. The ball's hit. He tries to grab it because if that ball hits and bounces forward, he's not going to be able to throw Cano out.
Now you might also be asking, what about Melky trying to steal his way to second? Well, that's where Pudge Rodriguez is one of the greatest weapons in the game. It is very tough to steal against Pudge. 0-2. And a foul. This year, there were 25 steals. And he maybe doesn't have the arm that he once had when it was one of the greatest arms ever seen in the game. A la Johnny Bench, but still very good.
Well, he still has a quick release. That's the key. And he has great foot.
The crowd trying to inspire the Yankees. And a pop-up along the left field line. Could be trouble in the sunshine, but Monroe is there. 2 down.
And excellent pitching by Todd Jones. I mean, this is the first time I've seen him lately pitch, in person. I've seen him on television. But I see why he is successful.
Now, Monroe has sunglasses with him, Joe, but they're just an ornament.
Jim Leland's right. He throws strikes.
2 down. Cabrera at first. All right. If you're Joe Torre, do you take a gamble here at some point with Cabrera?
I don't think so in this situation, but I mean, as Yogi Berra so aptly put it, it's never over till it's over because of this short porch in right field.
Damon is 3 for 7 lifetime against Jones, and he takes a strike.
Well, you see what Jones does. He stays off the bat, the good part of the bat. That ball tailed. Damon wisely took that pitch.
Damon has a 3-run homer to his credit today. He was out in front of that one, an off-speed pitch, and he was halfway to the mound before he made contact in that one. Damon is the Yankees' final hope. Cabrera, the possible tying run at first. Down and in. Yeah, see that. And 2.
No,
the cutter
weighs 2 pitches in there.
And you hear the crowd react on that one. The reaction was, whoa.
Hurt him on.
2-2. And the cutter, and oh man, maybe off the knee or the shin with that foul ball.
What you do in these situations.
Jeter.
That's why you play deep in the outfield and keep the ball from going over your head.
Jeter on deck. And a high pop-up. Shallow center. Polanco. And now Granderson in. He calls him off. The Tigers have won it. The Detroit Tigers, the team that was already being sent home, the conventional wisdom was the Yankees were just too tough, too experienced, too deep. And Jim Leland said, you know, they're depicting us as if we brought the junior varsity here. Well, this is a good ball club, and the Tigers proved it here today.
Well, I think they proved it Tuesday, because they came back from a 5-0 deficit. They were within 1 base hit of being able to win that ball game, and they came back today. They will not quit, and that's what this Tiger team is all about.
I mean, Granderson, 2 huge RBIs, and the former Yankee Marcus Timms, he was the guy getting everything started. He also drove in a run, and our Chevrolet player of the game is good. It's a tough call. There were so many for the Tigers, but we're going with Marcus Timms, the former Yankee, in recognition of his outstanding play. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. The Tigers have tied this series. Game 3 tomorrow night from Detroit. We'll see you there, 8 o'clock.